I'm Nicole from Open House.
Hi.
Just in regards to the traditional PR that was generated from the campaign, I'd love to know how much of that was reactive and how much of that was sort of, I guess, strategically placed. Was there a PR strategy in place, or were you more just sort of rolling with the punches as this thing evolved?
We were really rolling with the punches as it evolved. When we did the campaign, we had, it's one of those things you always hope that your campaigns are going to be well received, but the way that this campaign was received was well and truly beyond anyone's expectations. So I got to say, we were chasing our tails a lot of the time in terms of trying to keep up with what the public were wanting and how we can actually give the public more content than what we had produced. So yeah, there wasn't really a well-organised PR campaign around it, but there was a reactionary campaign as a result of what we were seeing.
Yeah, I think most of this was real-time response, like, okay, we'll put them in the AFL promotions. We did a little thing with Ketut, love letters from Ketut. We just kind of, we couldn't gauge that you were going to get that response, To us, when, filming the Bali ones way back when, they were cute, kind of nice little 30-second pieces that were a retail spot, and then kaboom, It just shows, a bit of character, a bit of story development, and people are into it. And I think, the Bali environment, I think just everyone could identify with that, and Australian in general just kind of went, yeah, we see those characters. But yeah, as Richard said, it was like, it was a moving feast.
And we were kind of restricted as to, we're really restricted to using the Ketut and Murty character to leverage the story further, because the Rhonda character really had a lot of other acting commitments, so she wasn't really available. And, I think one of the learnings from that is that, these guys that were not actors are actually really great at appearing at events, because they're really appearing as themselves, and, the warmth that they exude on screen actually comes across in person, because they're really not playing a character, they're really being themselves.
Yeah.
And that was a really key learning for us as well, and it was really great that we had Ketut out at contact centres, and he's a great guy, and he comes across as exactly as he does in the TVCs. He was even able to give up his day job for a period of time, so he was getting that much work.
He loved it. He was appearing at clubs.
Yeah.
Had hot like a sunrise cocktails.
Yeah, I don't think he enjoyed going back to his day job.
No.
He's a forklift driver.
Forklift driver.
My question is, how did the campaign go internally, like with your team members at customer service level and at the branches and in the back end who we don't see? Obviously it went well with the public, but how did your teams take it?
The reception internally to the first Rhonda was actually lukewarm. People weren't. There was people that really liked it, but it took a while for that first Rhonda campaign to really warm up, and it was a bit of a departure, I guess, from where we had been in terms of our Safe Driver program, which started with What About Me a couple of years prior to that. But it was, then when we did the Bali ones is when internally, and I guess people were seeing what people were saying in social media. The guys in the contact centre were really resonating with it, and that's when we were getting calls constantly from senior management. Oh, can we get them here? Can we get them there? Can we get them to the contact centres? So, now it's really evolved in terms of managing the expectations of how we use these characters going forward, but also what's right for the brand in the longer term as well. So it's a bit of a balancing act, I have to say.
Hi, I'm Amy from Group 1. You touched on it previously, but is there a concern that people will experience, Rhonda fatigue? And are you constantly, debating whether do you go again? Do you pull out another one, or do you let her, go out on a high, or try to ride that wave as long as you can?
Yes, there is the concern about the fatigue of Rhonda, and we've purposefully given Rhonda a really good break. We haven't had Rhonda on basically all year, but we do feel that there's probably one more campaign in Rhonda That's what I said last time, but I'm pretty sure this. I'm
Well,
pretty
we've
sure
shot
this
it,
is going to be
Richard.
the last one
We've
this
shot it.
time.
I think we kind of ended it on a slight
Question mark.
question mark, her looking to camera to kind of give us that leeway that there's a little bit more of this story, and I think we also felt that the public wanted that little bit more, and yeah, it feels right that we do.
Yeah, but I guess we're really conscious, and we've given Rhonda a really good break. And you know, one of the comments that we get on our Facebook, Facebook wall is, "When's the next Rhonda?" So it doesn't, there's still some level of demand for her, definitely, and for Ketut. So we still see that a lot. But yeah, it definitely is something we're conscious of.
I'd have them going for years.
Hi, just in terms of how the whole campaign started, because it seemed that the barley ad was where it really took off, but the first Rhonda ad was centred around the safe driver and the parade down the street and so forth. Had you started to see response to the character then, or was the barley one always planned? Like, was it always meant to be the two executions? Or?
I'll be honest here, the barley one was really inspired by a campaign we did a while ago with the Toddy wedding ring about what you can do with your savings from AAMI. And again, that was a few years ago, but it was really popular. But I guess we'd been doing a lot of really big ads. So we're really conscious of how we can pull back and do something that was more character driven, because the first Rhonda was a really big production number, and we'd come off a number of sort of big production ads, and we really wanted to pull back and be more character driven. And that's where the idea, and then the guys came up with the idea of, well, how can we make Rhonda more character driven and pull back and really make her front and center and deliver that. But it wasn't planned when we first did it.
Yeah, I think there was a generic. She was still quite. It was kind of a slow burner.
Yeah.
She was a bit of a slow burner, and we did a Facebook launch where you had to kind of get your face in the ad, and that kind of worked. And there was slight, people were going, yelling out Rhonda at the tennis. So we thought, it made sense, and it was great that we got the opportunity, because when you already have a character, whether they're hugely successful, it wasn't hugely successful, but it wasn't not successful.
Yeah.
When you have a character, you've got that instant thing that you can then develop on. And it made sense that the savings that from a safe driver, she was a safe driver, took her somewhere. So it actually made sense, and thank God we did it.
And the thing we also knew with Mandy is that we knew she was a great actor, and she could pull off that really to camera piece, and we knew how likable that she would be in that role. So, we were lucky that she was able to transfer into that, because the first ad she didn't actually speak. So, but we knew from her casting that she could pull it off. So that really led us to say she can do this. So that's why we stuck with her.
But it is interesting, Richard, that we went from a major, huge production, we went small and still captured that kind of gold. But you had to have the first one to have the second one.
Hi, this one's from social media. Siobhan asks, how do you use your traditional AAMI girl now, along with the new face of Rhonda?
The AAMI girl is totally symbolic of what the brand stands for in terms of a customer service. She's a mnemonic for our customer service offering, that you can always speak to a real person. There's always somebody there to solve your problems. Rhonda really is a campaign device. She's our safe driver, so she's been recognised for her safe driving. She's been on holidays with her savings. She's been back from holidays and been in an accident with her friend and used our Claim Assist app. So to me, they're quite distinct in terms of the roles that they play for their brand. The AAMI girl never speaks. She is a visual device that represents our customer service offering.
I mean, she's like a human logo. She's the real person.
Yep.
So she's like your brand logo at the end that you recognise as
I've
Amy.
also noticed she got younger over the years.
Actually, she's been around. She's been around for like 5 years now. So she's actually been. We've had 2 iterations of her. We've shot her twice. So I think she does look a bit younger in the latest one, but she's pretty young. But they generally, in the time I've been at AAMI, she's the second girl that we've used. Is she a staff member? I can't divulge if she is or isn't.